Hey, Chef Billy Parisi here with Bob's Red Mill, and today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious almond and berry crostada recipe. The first thing we want to do is make that crostada dough. So I'm going to be using Bob's Red Mill almond flour, which is going to provide amazing flavor and help keep it gluten-free, along with Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 flour. We're going to add all this to a food processor along with some very cold unsalted butter. We're then going to sprinkle in some sugar for a little bit of sweetness, and salt, of course, to season up our crust. What we want to do now is process it on high speed until the butter becomes very small, almost to the size of rice. It will look very mealy as you see here. At this point, we're going to add in an egg white. This is going to help hold our crust together. And in the same manner, add the top back on and process it while slowly drizzling in ice cold water to help bring our dough together. It will be a little wetter than a normal flour dough, and it's totally fine. What we'll do is transfer it to a clean surface and sprinkle on a little bit of almond flour or some of that gluten-free 1-to-1 flour. We're going to add it to a bag and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let that butter get nice and cold again. In the meantime, I'm going to be rinsing off some raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries, which we're going to put in the inside of our crostada. Transfer them to a bowl once rinsed, along with some fresh squeezed lemon juice. This is going to help add a little tang to the berries, plus help them keep color. Next thing we want to do, of course, is add in some sugar. This is going to help sweeten up any berries that maybe aren't quite to peak season. We want to give this a nice mix and make sure everything is completely coated. At that time, our dough should be nice and chilled. So go ahead and add it to a clean surface. And again, sprinkle on some almond flour or some gluten-free 1-to-1 flour. And now we want to roll it out. You have to be very gentle when doing this. One, because the dough isn't extremely glutinous because there's no gluten in it. So it can stick to things, and you just have to be gentle or else it will rip. So use the rolling pin to roll up the dough and simply roll it back out on a sheet tray lined with parchment paper. And at this point, we're going to add our berries right to the center of that dough. Just take care to keep everything in the center, because once all of our berries are on there, we want to fold up the sides. And again, be careful because the dough can rip very easily. This is okay because it's a crostada, so it's never going to be perfect. I feel like that's the whole point of these. And next, we're going to brush on some melted unsalted butter all over it. This is going to help brown up that crust beautifully, be exactly what we're looking for. Once it's brushed on, just go ahead and sprinkle on a little more sugar, help sweeten up that crust. From this point, we'll go right into the oven on 375 degrees. It's going to take about 35 to 40 minutes for our crostada to turn nice and brown and crispy, and for our berries to be finished. For more great recipes and ideas, be sure to visit bobsredmill.com.